Today's video is going to be borderline blasphemous, one of those, how could you even do that? Do you ever get into your Infiniti M56 once in a while and think, well, I do enjoy driving this car. It's modern enough, but it's 2011. The tech was good for the year, but it could be better. And especially the fuel economy could be much better. The line of thinking that gets you to a position where you're thinking, what if I got an economy car? What if I got something, get even way wilder with it? Step outside of the Nissan brand, get into a Toyota, Honda, or something. So 19.2 miles per gallon is pretty impressive, honestly. For a V8 engine, 420 horsepower, that's pretty good. But this video is going to be for those people who every once in a while think, how much better can I do? There's a group of people who don't mind the V8 and enjoy it and pay the premium with premium gas, no pun intended there. But, this is going to be an interesting kind of video. I had a rental the other day and it was rather interesting, so what do? Just pull out your camera and start talking. So here's a question that no one's asked. What do I, as the owner of an Infiniti M56, think about a Toyota Camry LE? It's a rental, so let's not have any huge expectations. One, still uses a physical blade, a metal blade to get in. I had wanted to show you the cool lights that this car has, but I couldn't leave the car running and get into it at the same time. I suppose I could just turn it on and get outside. Maybe that's what we'll do. But it's interesting. It is definitely not a luxury car, and maybe they tried to tell you that. Feel okay in here. It doesn't feel like a Versa. Ooh. Okay, pretty cool. It can actually play Bluetooth while I'm recording from my phone, so that's really nice. I like that. It's an okay car. I think when it comes to ergonomics for the settings, I think the M56 has it beat, but I suppose if it was a manual, this would be really cool because this gear shift is exactly what you want it. It's got two outlets, USB. Is that an audio jack? Yeah, audio in, I guess, and your accessory power. It's an okay car, and it sounds like the class of vehicle it is. Oh, decent looking one. I guess I haven't been in a Toyota in a while, huh? So, pros, as you can see, MPG is pretty good. It doesn't force you to use premium fuel. A lot of new tech. Cons, it's not an M56. This car does not cost $70,000 brand new. So this is the introduction to my video, my vlogish review on a 2020 or 2019 Toyota Camry. Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Infiniti V8. I am somewhere in Pennsylvania driving a rental Toyota Camry. It's as basic models come. I think it actually had 17-inch wheels. Not quite certain about that, but let's call it that. There are some features I wanted to talk about, things that have honestly impressed me. One, and I don't really have a way to play this while this is going on, is music. The music interface is simply amazing. I'm making calling people, and they're like, well, it sounds like you're just sitting in a room having a conversation. So a lot of what I'll be talking about today is in comparison to my Infiniti M56 and the M45 and whatnot. So being a rental from Hertz, I take it's a 2019 or 2020, something like that. Let's try to keep it positive, right? I'm a pretty positive person. So the sound system is really good. Maybe not as intuitive to use as the Infiniti setup and layout, but the sound quality is good. Infiniti, Bose, sometimes people call them blows system. I guess just as to how much they think the system sucks. The system does pretty well with I guess with sound control. What's that thing called? There's a feature where it kills external noises. I've forgotten what it's called right now. When I remember it, I'll edit it into the video. But it does well with the surround sound system, but it lacks something. I don't know. Maybe it's a little too refined, and it just ends up being, sometimes you want it raw, because you want to hear the sounds jump from the left speaker to the right speaker. So this car right here does that pretty well. It also has pretty much all the features that my M56 and M45 have, which we'll try to focus over here. Let me actually get a flashlight. There you go. So right here, there's some features I'd like to focus on. This one here is the distance between you and the car in front of you. Lane departure assistance. What else? Cruise control, of course. And you can make it intelligent, not intelligent. I've driven Toyotas before, so it's pretty intuitive. One of the features that really got to me is, and right now you can see this. Let me try swing off to the side. Turn off the flashlight. Okay, let me try lean off to the side. Listen to this. It beeps. It doesn't fully return you to the lane, but it beeps. And I think Toyotas in general have pretty nice, polite beeps, not as intrusive as Nissans, And I think that's one of the things that people said back in the day, that the Infiniti N56 was just a bag or just a hunk of beeps. Too much technology for its own good to get out of its own way. There's a feature here I want to show you. So when you drive the M56, I rarely ever feel the need to use my high beams. But this one here, I mean, pretty dramatic, right? Pretty dramatic in the kind of view you see. Let me change the view on my phone. Okay, so someone's about to come there. Someone's coming around the corner, right? Well, let me just do it. Versus this, okay? So, did that show? I think it did. I'm trying to find it on the gauge cluster over there to see where it shows. Okay, so, yeah, there you go. Down there. Okay, so there's a feature called automatic high beams, and this is it. Down in the corner, after having everything in auto. By the way, Toyota people, please remember to have your stuff to set it to auto or turn it on, because your lights just, your front lights, your parking lights just come on, or your driving lights come on immediately. So you usually see a lot of these cars on the highway with a little bit of lighting in front of them, but no lighting at all on the rear. So, and I guess they're like, well, what do you mean? My gauge cluster is on. Well, why are you flashing your high beams at me, So anyway, this feature right here, it's called automatic high beam. So push that. Auto high beam. Let me do the same thing, but like with the flash off, so you can actually read what's going on. Okay, so let me turn it off. Turn it on again. Auto high beam ready. Turn on high beam. Well, we'll get it. Don't you worry. We'll get it. Let's do this again. We'll do this until we get it. Okay. Try again. Turn on high beam to activate. So that's what I'll do. Turn on the high beam. I pushed it forward. And when you push it forward, you'll notice that both that A with this, the high beam that's green with an A in it, as well as the blue one, come on. So let's switch this view, and hopefully shortly you'll be able to see what happens when it senses another car in front of it. So right now it's high beam mode because I turned on the high beam, I activated the high beam. But when it senses tail lights in front of you or headlights in front of you, it actually turns off the high beam. So that's pretty cool, and that's a feature from I remember seeing it in a BMW ad from, I think, 2013. I thought it was the coolest thing. Not only was the BMW able, 7 Series, of course, not only was it able to just turn on or your high beams on or off, it actually kind of regulated. If I remember right, it could turn off the left high beam and leave the right high beam on, but again, might stand corrected on that. So I'll just keep driving, hoping for a good opportunity for this feature to show itself. But so my feelings towards a car like this, as I said, I'm thinking it's a 2019 or 2020, and being that maybe I've just gotten spoiled driving V8s, but there you go. Did you see? As soon as that guy came up, it turned off, and they obviously don't have automatic high beams, or they drive an Acura. I don't know. Then there you go, my high beams came on automatically. So I really like that feature. This car has quite a lot of the same features that the M56 has, and it's got a few more, you know, it's got a lot more that I'm hoping for. And I think that's one thing Infiniti really dropped the ball on, being that the 2020 Q70 felt so much like my 2011 M56, you know, not too much, nothing too dramatic. I don't know what the light sensed, but it turned off and then on again. Oh well. But so comparing these cars, I think it's one thing it lacks is power. I haven't really researched, you know, I came to the rental, I didn't really research what they're gonna give you. I'll go out on a limb and say this is a 4-cylinder. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they only make V6 Camrys these days, but I think the V6 Camry actually has quite a lot of power. I'm going to say close to 300, maybe even 320, 325 horses. I really can't remember. Versus the 4-cylinder, maybe I'll go with 250 at best. That's what I'll go out on a limb and say that. And it feels like when I mash on the pedal, I'm in standard mode right now with regards to the transmission. It's just drive, or rather standard, but it feels like when I mash the go pedal, the car and the transmission and the engine are not really communicating, or not really in sync with each other. It's smooth, don't get me wrong, it just doesn't get up and go. Talking of delays, I know the M56 has, you know, the 7-speed has its own delays, and Nissan transmissions generally have some sort of a delay, but this, you know, I'm flooring it. See how long it took to respond? Wow, made it to 60 eventually. So maybe I'm a little spoiled because I'm jumping out of, you know, torquey V8s, and maybe that's why I'm spoiled. But what I'm trying to say is, if I was given $20,000, or, you know, that's $25,000, and I was asked to choose between a used Infiniti Q70, either the V6 or the V8, and a 2020 Toyota Camry, I can't make any promises that I wouldn't buy the Camry. You know, better fuel economy, usually better. It's pretty nice that they don't require premium gas, to the best of my knowledge. So it's a pretty good bargain for the price. For people who like power and don't mind buying premium fuel, and, you know, like torque, power, and excitement in driving, yeah, then I'd go with the M for sure. And, well, don't judge me as to how many M's I've got. I'm just trying to do an enthusiast review comparing my M56 to any other car that I get into. So it's decent, and I'd love to check it out during the day and, you know, test it out a little more. Well, while we're here, might as well test the 0 to 60. Doesn't seem like anyone lives out here. Well, there's a curve over there, but let's try. Okay. Let's go. Wow. Wow. Yeah, it better be a 4-cylinder, because it wound up. It really tried. But, you know, with time, I'll maybe do something else during the day. I feel like there'll be more eyes during the day, so I don't want to get in trouble. But that's just what I feel about this car. Not bad at all. It's pretty quiet for Camry, I guess for a non-premium vehicle, but it's new. what we need to do is come back to the Camry in 10 years, like we're doing for the M56s, right? 9 years or whatever, and test them side to side and say, okay, how does that feel now? Does it still feel as refined as the other one was? One big thing I wanted to talk about that I can't really show right now, again, along with the sound system, the Bluetooth call quality. I did talk about that, right? Yeah, I did. Never mind, I'm not going to talk about that again. But I feel like Infiniti definitely dropped the ball. To pay $70,000 for a flagship luxury in quotes brand versus whatever the camera can do, you know. But on the other hand, I have to be fair, you know. I just gave an example of how the features with the automatic high beam had, you know, I'd seen that in a BMW, right? So I think, just to be fair, I also need to acknowledge that this is you know, with time, features do trickle down, right? So it wouldn't be fair to judge an Infiniti, or rather an older Infiniti, comparing it to a brand new Camry, right? Because features trickle down. Backup cameras at some point were pretty rare, you know, and you'd only get those in the flagships, right? So we've gotten to a point where things do trickle down. I just feel like Infiniti did not really push it as hard as it could have. They did not really push the envelope. A BMW 7 Series compared to a 3 Series, you can tell the difference. Likewise, an S-Class is a purpose-built vehicle to showcase what the features that are going to come down in the future. I feel like the M's kind of dropped the ball in that. They were not really unique enough. Right now, the Q50 versus the Q70, obviously Q70 has been retired, but the Q50 has so many features that the Q70 did not, you know. Or rather, let's even make it worse, the Nissans. I've test driven a few Nissans lately, like the Rogue, Murano, and whatnot. They have so many features that the Q70 and the M56, blah, 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 that they have, but it's, did you see that? It told me to hold the steering wheel. It's pretty cool. But I just feel like, you know what, no, I understand how economics work. At the end of the day, you serve the masses, right? Because these companies are not here to please the few enthusiasts like us who buy a vehicle, you know, as a second, third owners, and, you know, try to honestly bitch at them as to what they haven't done. They make improvements where the sales are. That's why they make sure that, you know, that the mass sellers, the Ultimas, the Rogues, and the Muranos, that they have all the features that people actually ask for. So I'm not mad at you for that. I definitely understand that. What was I going to say about that? I think the people that really mattered to Infiniti, I think Infiniti did stop caring about the flagship buyers, and I think the people that bought Infiniti Q70s, they bought them when they wanted to buy them because they really wanted them or could afford them or whatever the situation is. But people who wanted class and cutting edge technology, I think they buy those are the people that buy the S classes, the people that buy the Audis, you know. Infiniti just wasn't it. It's really nice value for money, reliability, technology, a good balance, and, you know, as I said, reliability, fuel economy, ride quality, okay. It's, you know, in that article that I wrote, it's a nice balance of a lot of the things that you, as a used car enthusiast, would want in a vehicle. If you're looking for cutting edge, not in the 2010s. Back in the day, yeah, Infiniti was doing things that, you know, think about the Q45 or the M45 when it came back in 2006. You know, it was quite ahead of the class back then, but these days, nah. So I turned off the high beam thing, but I'll turn it back on again. I felt like I was in the city, so I didn't want to blind people. So, yep, it stays off. But you can see the auto is, oh, there you go, just came on again. So yeah, that's my trip. I mean, I guess talking to you guys, well, in all honesty, I guess talking to myself in this case, does make the road go a little, the trip go a little easier. I'm in Pennsylvania right now for a job interview. I've had quite a few interviews, phone interviews, plant tours. This is gonna be like the third one, I think. Third one this year. I've got my hopes. I'm not going to point out who exactly, but I think talking and interviewing at certain companies gives you a sense of home, a sense of, you know, feeling like you belong somewhere. And this is something I haven't really talked about in any of my other videos, but I hope to talk about it pretty soon. Because I hope to get a job pretty soon, but I was laid off from my job, so that came with two things. One, slowed down the projects because I wasn't spending crazy money, but two, kind of got the projects going because you guys got to see quite a lot of videos because I was home for quite some time. Anyway, I think that's enough video for now, and maybe during the day we'll come back and do something else. But oh yeah, what was I gonna do? Cruise control. Now that speed limit has changed here, let's do cruise control. So cruise control. Okay, I guess it was on. So cruise control. And radar ready is what it says over there. So what I'm gonna do is this. Look at that. It's changing the, let me turn that off. It's changing the distance that I can't, that's the same button I was pushing. Changing the distance with which I can follow the car in front of me. Let me try that again. I'm sorry you can't really see it very well, but that's what's happening. And of course, I will hit the set button over here. Set, to set my speed to something. It says 80 over the, well, its speed limit is 70, so I've set it to 73, but I'll hit the plus up here, and it's increasing in the screen to, I want to do it to 80. So the funny thing, what I've noticed is that the accuracy of the M56 was, if I use the automatic, intelligent cruise control, I'd set it to 70, GPS would tell me I'm actually doing 69. Here, it varies. It could be, I'd set it to 70, GPS would, well, 60 is what I actually tested back there. The GPS would tell me I'm doing 58, 62. It really jumped around. Hey, so let me see how close I can follow this guy. You'll notice that the speed starts dropping. Yep. Just starts dropping automatically. And if I change the distance by playing with this again, by making this much further, so that the bar is longer, I'm gonna end up staying further and further behind. And let me do the same thing again, play with this button here, and watch make the distance shorter, and they should start approaching it. Yeah, you must have seen the tach jump up a little bit. So I think this is another thing that this car does very well. The radar is not abrupt. It's not like the M's in general. I think I don't think I've driven any other Nissan product with the radar, with the intelligent cruise control, but the 2002, 2003 Q45, the 2008, 2006, 7, 8 M45s that I've driven, the 2011 M56 that I own, and the I can't remember if the Q60 that I drove for a while had cruise control, but they're very abrupt in the way they engage the brake. So there you go. I mean, I guess maybe it's less dramatic because this thing is, less powerful. The braking is really good. I like it. For one, when you have less power to stop, because the two ways I've noticed that the intelligent cruise control works. One, just cut power so that it's pretty it's pretty, I guess, gentle or gradual, and then the second way is to actually slam on the brakes. So my thinking is that, one, this cruise, the sensor is pretty sensitive enough that it starts cutting power way back, and the fact that the vehicle has less power, it's less dramatic. You know, it just feels like you're cruising down a hill, I guess, or cruising up a hill, however you're gonna look at that. And then the other part would be that if it slams the brakes, it's a new car, new components, so it's not as dramatic when it does that. So wow, I've been talking for a while, so I guess this is one of those vlogish posts that I end up making, huh? Yeah, because what am I going to show during the day? It would be an unfair video to even try to compare the refinement and the seats and everything of this car to the M56. So we'll just leave it as a night video. Maybe somebody out there is looking at my M56 videos with the intention of buying something better on gas. I don't know. Actually, when I started it, it did say there was a previous... when I started the car, it didn't say what the previous record on gas mileage was. So let me try home. Maybe menu. Setup, apps, projection. Oh, you can do a projection? Well, no, I think it told me it couldn't. I connected it by USB. I connected my phone by USB, and it told me something wasn't installed and couldn't really do it, but you know, still gonna try the projection thing. Looks pretty cool. Connect a compatible device via USB to use this app. Okay, understandable. I do understand that. Let's see, audio. I said everything is set up, but I need to check the sound. Get my stuff set up. Treble, mid, bass. Ah, there you go. Always to the right, all the way to the right for the bass. Then that's fine. Anyway, I think that's good enough. I'm really gonna jump off. As I said, I had a 1.5 hour drive, so I figured at some point I'd be talking about, that's 80 East. At some point I'd, you know, just share my experiences. The seats are okay, cloth, feel like new seats, you know, I'm in there. They're not sporty by any means, but they're there. They're cool. Obviously not heated or cooled, but it's all right. It's a rental. I'm not living in the car. I really can't think of any other creative or cool way to sign off, so this is goodbye, my friends. Well, I suppose I lied. I'm getting pretty close to my exit, so I wanted to see how this thing would behave. Whoa, that truck is like not moving. Yeah, I wouldn't take a chance with how well this thing would stop, because I'm barreling my little hunk of metal down the highway. It could have ended up, yes, maybe the car would have tried to stop, but I usually say you can't break the laws of physics. I end up skidding and just hitting that truck, and yeah, that will be a bad situation. So my exit is coming up like right here. People from Pennsylvania, Light Street, Bloomsburg. That's the exit 236. You know, I should actually hold on to this video for a while. No, don't post it yet. You know, watch what happens with the high beam. Oh, it's not beeping yet. Oh, it didn't see the car, I guess. Didn't see that bus. Otherwise, it should have, you know, turned off. Oh, the high beams are off now. I'll be here for a little while, guys. One last jab at this thing. Old school key, metal blade. Look at that. I wanted to jump out and try to get registered and leave the car running, but that was not to be. Talking of this car, so I have the automatic high beams on, and just trying to see how they actually function in the city. Figured I'd take the scenic route to try and showcase that. It's actually pretty smart, because when you get to a place with lights, it goes off. Then when you drive out in the wilderness, the high beams come on again. Let's see what will happen after I pass this. Maybe it will still consider it. Is it gonna come on? Yeah, it can see all the lights and I guess the reflectors from the tail lamps. I don't know if it uses the street lamps at all. I'm not quite sure about that part. But talking of automatic things, again, this is one of those unfair, heavyweight versus welterweight kind of fights. Your economy, full size. Oh, there you go. So the lights come on. Then it's gonna sense something. Let's see if it senses the reflectors from the rear of that car. Nope, it said F that, doesn't care. So not that car. But once, okay, stop sign, not gonna do anything either. Okay, it saw something, I don't know, lights, or is it the speed, or what happened? Huh, that's interesting. So I guess it's speed related in a way. So, one of those things, talking about automatic things, I do like things that make work convenient for me. When it matters, I love to be hands-on, right? But sometimes I hate doing those repetitive, those rote kind of non-value added tasks. For example, I don't want to keep flipping my high beams on and off. I mean, there's a safety angle to it, I agree. But likewise, my windshield wipers, and I've not had a chance to test these to know if these are automatic or not. They might be automatic. No, they're not. They're just intermittent, which is kind of cool because sometimes the automatic ones just go all the time, so it just, you can't really make them intermittent. But I do like the automatic windshield wipers, because that's one thing I personally don't like about driving. Let me focus on driving. I'd rather, if I were caught in a situation where there was that weird in-between phase between should I keep swiping hard or not swipe at all, I just leave them to not swipe at all, because I hate having to just wipers going on, and just glazing over the glass. So I'd rather just let them be. Automatic wipers, game changer for me. The other thing I miss about, you'd miss if you made this change from the N56, is the auto dimming stuff. Right now I can't show it, but it happened to me on the highway that I'm getting a little blinded. One, from my side mirror. Two, from my high-mounted rear view mirror. Can't really see it, and yeah, there you go, that's a better view. And we don't have the auto dimming side mirror or the high mount mirror. So here you got the manual one, the old school one, where you flip that switch on the back side, right, like that, which is cool. But then at this point I can't see anything at all. And yeah, I know, maybe I'm spoiled, maybe it's been too long since I had to do that to a mirror, but the disadvantage of such a mirror, or at least the advantage of having the auto dimming one, is that it actually had some gradation. It wasn't just all black or white like this one, right? It had a little bit of a gray area where it dimmed it, didn't just get it all dark. So that's one thing I miss about the N56, but hey, just something for you to consider. I am pretty sure the higher trims probably have auto dimming mirrors, but with M56s, every single one of them, and I think even the M37s, every single one of them is going to have that. And I shouldn't be too harsh at this vehicle, because as you can see here, from all these blank spaces, there's some features that this vehicle does not have. Talking of mirrors, the side mirror does not tilt down when you back up. I think I had a clip of that, but small things. It's a matter of convenience, I guess. That's the difference between buying an Ultima and buying the Q50. Does the Q50 do that? I hope it does. Better do. So it's just, I'm not witching about this. It's just one of those, if I were to make the jump to a Camry, what would I miss about the M56, you know? So I think we're almost home. That was a very weird left turn. Okay, so here we go. One thing I like about Toyotas is that 1, 2, and the lights go off. So I do miss that about Toyotas. And they have polite beeps, you know? The beeps are not as bad or as garish as the ones the Nissans do have. What else do I like? I like that when I pop the trunk, thing opens all the way up, right? And it doesn't just spring all loosely. It would be cool if it had a grab thing over here, but it's all right. Just slap it down. So the trunk thing is, I guess it's kind of interesting. It seems like at some point manufacturers, let's talk about Infiniti specifically, decided that luxury or mid-luxury trunks did not need to open all the way unless you had a motorized one, where, you know, I've shown it with the Q45 that, you know, when you get to the second stage, the motor actually opens the trunk all the way up. Otherwise, most of my Infinitis just pop the trunk, just literally, just half an inch, and then you have to come and open it up. In one way, at first I thought it was pretty luxurious, but I feel like I think the luxury automakers out there that actually fully open the trunk at the first go, right? So I guess it's a balance and balance thing, but I think I like that this one does that. Dings and this and that. What is it this time? Well, I guess that's just how it starts, with a whole lot of commotion. And I suppose I lost my opportunity to try to record the interior ambiance, but it's cool. It's not as lit up, doesn't have the LED lights over here and all that. It's, I mean, well, the map light is an LED, very bright, but you know, there's that lighting that happens in luxury vehicles that you usually just see hanging out. Looking at that, wondering why that has a little red thing. So maybe I'll record more footage on my drive back home, I'm not sure, but this is my review of a 2000 and whatever Camry from an Infiniti M56 owner. Let's see what year it is. Right here. It is actually date of manufacture 19. So it's either 2019 or 2020. I'm not quite sure how they do their thing. 44, 75 pounds. Huh, interesting. Interesting. What else did I want to see? Engine. I wanted to know what kind of engine it had. I guess these guys don't call it out here, but maybe pop the hood. I'll be able to see. Let's do that. Oh, is that 3 or 4? Looks like 4 coil packs. Or 4 coil pack wires. So there you go, 4-banger it is. Yep. This is for you guys. Don't have to slam your hoods at all. So what's the coolest thing I've seen here? This cubby over here. Well, I guess push. And again, push. Why am I so fascinated by it? Well, somebody asked me something in one of my videos that said, hey, the M's, the M45, M35, do they have any hidden stash boxes or hidden stash compartments? I didn't get a chance to respond to the person because I couldn't even see the comment at all. Maybe they deleted it, maybe the robots at YouTube deleted it. But so yeah, I guess if you get any paraphernalia that you need to hide, you can, here's a slot for you in the Camry. And well, maybe the cops know about it too, I don't know. Oh well, that's it. Just wanted to show that. Pretty cool. It's been nice, it's been cool, but I'm very excited and eager to go back to my M56.